I'm a dreamer, and I want to make the world a better place. I've never created a video before or done anything like this, so if it's a little rough around the edges, you know why. If you're watching this video, it's because I have selected you to watch it to give me feedback, advice, criticism, anything helpful. This video is a brainstorm or first draft for a first two-part video series I want to create. The first video is what is the question. The second video will be about what is the answer. As you can see, my head is in the clouds. But that's how I think life should be. If we all band together, we can accomplish anything. Bruce Lee created a brand new martial arts form called Jeet Kune Do. It's a conglomeration of all sorts of different fighting styles that Lee mastered over the years. He perfected this art form with the following philosophy in mind. I have also used this philosophy to create my vision. The goals of my vision are to survive by living sustainably with the earth and its inhabitants, to thrive by creating an environment that allows and encourages life to thrive, and to rise, to advance as a species. Everyone can agree that if we make it inhabitable to live on Earth, that means that we all die. Where there is inequality, there will be suffering. These concepts I'm promoting are simple, but if there wasn't a problem, I wouldn't be making a video. There are a multitude of problems going on for the planet Earth and all the species on it, including humans. We are often our own worst enemy. We abuse the planet, murder and abuse each other, hoard. The major problems plaguing us right now, as I see it, are inequality, social decay, and a general disconnection from the people and the world around them. A non-sustainable system that is taking us closer and closer towards extinction as a species. As you can see, the middle class is hardly existent anymore. More and more the middle class is dying, and we are being pushed back into a plutocracy, where there's a small ruling elite class, and the rest of us are the impoverished lower class. This is what plutocracy looks like on a bar graph. The money is piled up on top, and the rest of us are fighting for the crumbs. That's the American dream, folks. You could alleviate most of human suffering by taking care of all human needs, and it costs you less than $1 trillion per year to do. Just a fraction of the money away from the 1%, and no one would die of starvation or lack of drinking water. But the system doesn't care about what's good for the whole. It only cares about what's good for itself. The cause of the problem, as I see it, is the elite and the hierarchical system they have created. The elite, plutocracy, the 1%, whatever you want to call them, this is not a new idea. This is the way it has been for most of humanity pretty much since the hunter-gatherer days. Ever since our species has learned agriculture, the focus has slowly shifted away from what is good for us as a tribe, instead to be what is good for me. The greed has created an environment that supports all of the extrinsic values of humanity, like greed, power, sex, money, status, and image. Yet we continue to feed and increasingly become more and more dependent on this system that is broken from its core. I do not think a band-aid will heal this. It needs to be amputated. Power has always been the ultimate goal, which has been gained through control over the people and over the resources. Money has been one of the best tools for them to control the people. This image shows how our global plutocracy operates. Directly under the financial elite are the banks. Underneath the banks are the oil companies, and under the oil companies are the corporations, and under the corporations are the government, the military, the police, and so on. What you're seeing here is only the capstone. We, the people, are the bottom of this pyramid. Here we are in the crumb catcher section. 99% of us can agree that this situation is not fair. The inequality is too great. I do not want to go on like this. I like to look on the positive side and try to talk about the solutions instead of just talking about the problems. Well, what are the solutions? The only ones I've ever heard, people are in denial, complacency, rebellion and uprising, and a new one I've called new paradigm. It's too late for denial. I've done too much research. Most people that I know of resort back to denial and complacency, what we call sheep. This has never sat well with me, as I know I can't go on like this. Rebellion was always more attractive to me than the complacency and the conformity. But this line of thinking always made me resentful, negative, and anxious. Apart from the way it makes me feel, rebellion in the past usually ends in bloodshed, and change is usually temporary, even if you win. So the world has problems, then it needs to be dealt with. So instead of giving in or giving up, or instead of fighting and bringing on bloodshed and more of the same, instead we put our energy into creating a new paradigm, a paradigm of liberation. When enough people leave the old paradigm and join the new paradigm, the old paradigm will fall and crumble under its own weight without the need to fight it.